Just as a young woman stepped off the subway, a handsome stranger approached her, attempting to strike up a conversation. For a moment, she thought she had found true love, but in the blink of an eye, everything changed. The man tried to snatch her purse, but her 300-pound frame proved to be an insurmountable obstacle for the would-be thief. As they struggled, the woman managed to land a blow to his vulnerable spot. Just as she turned to walk away, the unexpected happened. When she regained consciousness, the woman found herself lying in a hospital bed. To her surprise, the doctor complimented her on her stunning beauty.
You're quite beautiful.
This sudden praise led her to believe she had reached heaven. However, not only did the doctor bear no ill will, but he also thoughtfully provided her with a set of clothes. Bewildered, the woman ran out of the hospital, only to discover that the world seemed different. On the street, men gazed at her with admiration. A situation she found utterly bizarre. The woman's name was Amy, and she was originally the most talented designer at her company. However, due to her size, her colleagues constantly bossed her around. She believed that her exceptional design skills would help her make a name for herself in her career. But when she confidently brought her designs to a meeting, her boss mistook her for an errand runner and even belittled her appearance. Amy's only friend was George, who never looked down on her because of her weight. He often stole glances in Amy's direction while at work. However, when she turned around, she realized that George was only admiring the beautiful posters on the window. Amy longed for the perfect romance, but the reality was that no man would give her a second look. That is, until she noticed a man on the subway home who seemed to be watching her intentionally. Amy thought that love had finally arrived, and she greeted the smiling stranger. But suddenly, the man punched her in the body. It was then that Amy realized she had encountered a mugger. In a strange twist of fate, she found herself transported to a world where being overweight was considered beautiful. Frightened, Amy quickened her pace, nearly colliding with a stretched Lincoln. The man hurried out of the car to ask if she was hurt. Just as Amy was about to lash out, she realized that the man was none other than her boss, William, who had previously mocked her. Somehow, William's contempt and disgust had vanished, replaced by an unmistakable look of affection in his eyes. He even insisted on giving Amy a ride. Amy could hardly believe her ears as the car slowly crossed the bridge and returned to the alley. The once cluttered and dirty street had been transformed into a clean and tidy thoroughfare. William wrote his phone number on a delicate flower petal, gently plucking it and tenderly telling Amy that she could contact him anytime. This was a scene Amy never dared to dream of. But the surprises were far from over. When Amy returned home, she was stunned by the sight before her. The cramped, rundown rental apartment she once lived in had been transformed into a spacious, luxurious home. It all felt like a dream, leaving Amy somewhat at a loss. Amy arrived at the company she once knew so well, only to find that everything had been turned upside down. Someone eagerly brought her coffee, and her assistant informed her that she was now a high-profile celebrity designer. But Amy, accustomed to a mundane life, felt uneasy about these sudden changes. So she returned to the subway station, attempting to recreate the mugging scene from the previous night, hoping to return to reality. She intentionally tried to rob passersby, but they mistook her for a madwoman. As the train sped toward her, she closed her eyes, deciding to take a leap of faith.